From Chapter 11, you will listen from Level 1 to Level 3, so please focus on it, take note of new words and practice. Chapter 11 Book Level 1. I need to make some furniture. I need a chair and a table. I use the wood from my rafts and the ship. It takes 5 days to make them. Then, I make more furniture for the cave. I put my clothes and guns in the cave too. I am very happy when my work is finished. The cave is comfortable now. Everything is well organized. I can easily find what I need. I decide to write a book about my life on the island. I describe my days in the book. I start with my first day on the island. I write everything what I remember. I also write what I think. It is good when I write my thoughts on paper. When I start, I write 1 page every day. But when I get to the present, I write only 1 page every week. I write only important things. After some time on the island, my life is well organized. But my life is never boring. I have always some work. Every morning, I walk around the island. Then I work. I have lunch at noon. Then I sleep, but not very long. Then I continue with my work. I relax or I write my book in the evening. I make my cave bigger and bigger. I want to have a big cave. The cave is my kitchen, living room, and sometimes a bedroom. When the cave is finished, a lot of earth falls from one side. I am not in the cave when it happens. If a lot of earth falls on me, I can die. I clean the cave. Then I decide to put long boards on the sides and also on the top. I don't want to have this accident again. This work takes 1 week. In December, I continue with my work in my small camp. The weather isn't very good. It rains all days. But it is still warm. So I work inside. It is never cold on the island. It is good for me. At the end of December, I kill a goat. I also hurt another goat. Her leg is broken. The goat can't walk. I take the goat home. I help the goat. After 2 weeks, the goat is not scared. The goat eats from my hand. In January, I travel through the island. I find more goats in the center of the island. The animals are very shy. It is difficult to get close to them. I want to domesticate some goats. I only need a good opportunity for it. I have a plan. The next day, I return with my dog. I think that my dog can help me hunt. I tell my dog, sit down. Wait. Don't move. Then I go around the goats, but in a big distance. Chapter 11 Book Level 2 I started to make some furniture. I needed a chair and a table. I used the wood from my rafts and the ship. It took me 5 days to make a chair and a table. Next, I made shelves inside the cave. I put my tools on the shelves. I put my clothes and guns in the cave too. My guns were on the walls too. I was very pleased when my work was finished. Everything was well organized. I could easily find what I needed. I decided to write a book about my life on the island. I described my days in the book. I started with my first day on the island. I wrote everything what I remembered. I also wrote what I thought. It was good for me when I put my thoughts on paper. I wrote 1 page every day at the beginning, but when I got to the present, I wrote only 1 page every week. I wrote only important events. After some time, my days on the island started to be similar, but they were never boring. I had always something to do. Every morning, I walked for a few hours. Then I worked until noon. I had lunch. Then I slept after lunch for 2 hours. Then I continued my work until the evening. I made my cave bigger with the tools which I had. I wanted to have a big cave. The cave was my kitchen, living room, cellar, and sometimes a bedroom all in one. When the cave was almost done, a lot of earth fell down from one side. I wasn't in the cave when it happened. I was lucky. If a lot of earth fell on me, I could die. First, I had to clean the cave. Then I decided to put long boards on the sides and also on the ceiling. I didn't want the accident to happen again. This work took about 1 week. In December, I continued to work in my small camp. The weather wasn't very good for 20 days. It rained day and night, but it was still warm. So I worked inside. It was never cold on the island. It was good for me. At the end of December, I killed a goat. I also hurt another goat. Its leg was broken. The goat couldn't walk. I took the goat home. I looked after it. After 2 weeks, the goat wasn't scared. It could eat from my hand. I started to think about keeping animals. I could have food when my gunpowder was finished. In January, I traveled through the island. I found more goats in the center of the island. The animals were very shy. It was difficult to get close to the goats. I wanted to try to domesticate some goats. I only needed an opportunity to do it. I had a plan. I returned with my dog the next day. He was my hunting partner. I told my dog, "Sit down. Wait. Don't move." Then I went around the goats, but in a big distance. Chapter 11. Book. Level 3. In this level, you will listen faster and with an other voice. Listen again and again. You will definitely understand it all. Take a note if necessary.
Then, I started to make some furniture. I needed a chair and a table very much. I used the boards from my rafts and the ship to make them. Next, I made shelves inside the cave. I arranged my tools on them. My clothes and guns were hanging there as well. I was very pleased with my work. The cave was comfortable. Everything was in order, and I could easily find whatever I needed. I decided to write a book. I wanted to describe my daily activities in it. It did me good to put my thoughts to paper. I started by writing down my experiences from the very first day on the island. When I got to the present, I continued describing interesting or important events in my life on the island. I decided to make a schedule to organize my time better. Every morning, I walked for a few hours. Then I worked until noon. I had lunch and I slept after lunch for 2 hours. Then I continued working until the evening. I was expanding my cave with the tools I had. I needed to make the cave big enough, as it was going to be my kitchen, living room, bedroom, and cellar all at once. When I almost finished my cave, a great quantity of earth fell down from one side. I was scared, because this could have killed me if I was in the cave at that time. Afterwards, I had a lot of work to clean the cave. The next week, I spent putting long boards on the sides and also on the ceiling of the cave. I wanted to avoid such disaster from happening again. Little by little I began arranging the furniture in my new home. The next 3 days the weather was bad. It was raining day and night, but it was still warm, so I continued with my tasks inside. It was never cold on the island. It was good for me.